It's just that you never actually go past. Suffering is not a phase of life, but rather life is that you know how to deal, and you know how to change that suffering into joy by the small things or the small moments in life. Now that's what social media is. Now internet and isolation. Recently, with the skyrocketing amount of AI and such stuff, there has been absolutely shocking news, there has been absolutely amazing news on the internet of things such as AI chatbots, of things such as AI role plays, and of things such as AI creations or talking, etc., whatever you want to call it. You can make your characters, you can talk to other characters, you just don't need friends anymore. You want a relationship, you can get the same amount of dopamine, the same amount of adrenaline, the same amount of feelings from such things, because they behave and they try to behave like actual humans would, but they are not that good at it, but because they are AIs. But if you treat it with that, you'll understand that how good actually they are at their job. You won't need mother, father, their interactions. You do need them, because who wants to get disowned by their parents? But in most case scenarios, you won't need interactions with physical humans. आपकी सारी interactions with the physical humans will be cut off, and you will be enjoying your time with such things as AI. Now that is one perspective, one part of the story, that single people. In America, for example, most of the men that were seen were single, depressed men that were trying to figure out their way in life, and they went towards AI. If you've watched Her, for example, that movie, or if you've watched Blade Runner, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that feeling of so much realism, but while you know that it's not real what you're seeing in front or what you're listening to. That's the point. And those men in America, they try to find that solace of having a relationship, having a friendship, having a family. They try to find that solace inside of those AIs, which is pretty much very messed up, and it's nowhere to be seen as humane in my perception. If you're using it for fun, one thing, but if you're replacing your humans with it, that's the second thing. Now comes towards gaming and towards towards overall general internet. It has caused more isolation, as people are nowadays tend to spend more of their time rather on internet, rather on things such as social media, gaming, than actual humans, which causes them to be a bit less attached to anything. They become more cold, they become more angry, they become more agitative, they become very unsure of themselves. With the rising perspective of gender, with the rising perspective of race, with the rising perspective of all of these things that are being discussed in the world, children nowadays especially are being influenced heavily by these factors, which is a very bad influence in my perspective, if being honest. Now, for all the people that are out there and they just spend all their days gaming, and they spend their times on the internet with friends that are on the internet that are literally half a continent or a whole continent away from you. So what's the so-called friendship in it? If you just talk with somebody, that's like me every day. I talk to random people, and once I finish that event, that little podcast, I just go back home and never remember about that person again. I don't gotta remember that person again. And the same case goes with any of us. If you do build a good and trusty friendship, you can't keep it going, because it's not physical. The same sense of everything or the same sense of pleasure is not in online as in physical. So I believe that for anybody that spends their time gaming all day, for anybody that spends their time wasting it or using it or whatever you want to call it, I know you guys are gonna say wasting. No, we are not wasting our time, we are doing this, we are doing that. Yeah, I know you people are great and amazing people, but if you do, you need to get help, get better, try to have more interaction with the physical people. It's one case scenario if you're antisocial or socially awkward or maybe introverted, that's one case. But introvert does not mean that you completely leave everybody. It means that you have somewhat degree of shyness inside of you. Now that's what it is. So my perspective here is that it would be great if you people get help, get better, and try to interact more with humans, unless this emptiness, this loneliness, or the so-called freedom will envelop you and eat you alive. Thank you so much for watching, and inshallah, I'll see you in the next one. Until that time, I'll meet you in the next one. Until that time, Allah Hafiz. And by the way, if you people have any questions of any sort related to this topic or not related to this topic, just to me, you guys can ask me in the comment section. Allah Hafiz.